say, make it fun and engaging. So normally, if I would just use this in Gemini, it would actually start producing the text for this lab safety rules, and I can then export it to Google Docs. Now, there is also a second feature that can be very helpful here. So here, rather than just getting the text, I could instead use what's called Canvas. So if I enable the Canvas feature, I will use the same prompt like before, so the exact same request. You'll notice that in this case, it will behave slightly differently. Rather than just giving me the text, it creates a preview of the document and it places the text here. Now, what is the advantage for this? The advantage is that especially if I have a long document that I want to revise many times and I want to change different sections, I can use the preview and I can go and ask Gemini to make changes in specific parts of the document. So this makes it a bit easier. I could have done this also with the lesson planning. That makes it a bit easier for me to go and change things as I see fit. So for example, for the cleanup crew code, so let's say I want to highlight this paragraph and I can ask Gemini to change it here. And I'll just say something like elaborate on this. And once again, the advantage here is that I have flexibility in terms of where and what I want to update in the document preview. And what you'll see here is that it will actually change the text, but it will also highlight the changes it makes. So that's a very useful feature. So everything that is added and it's highlighted, this is a change that was added based on my prompt. And I see that we do have 2 hands raised, so I want to see what questions do you have. I think Mr. Saad was the first one.
I ask you about generation of pictures in Gemini. All of this about lesson plan. What about how can I generate a picture to help me in this class or like this?
Sorry, to help you. I didn't catch to help you with what? I didn't catch that part.
Generate of pictures in the application.
Could you type it? I didn't understand. So you would like to generate? The sound is a bit bad.
Image.
Okay, pictures. Okay. The sound was a bit interrupted. So you can also use it to generate pictures based on prompts. So just like you would ask it to generate text, you can generate pictures. So let's try it here. I will just say, I will say something like include an image of a science lab. And now because I am working in the Canvas, so I do have the Canvas feature enabled, it will add it in my document preview. And here, keep in mind, it might tell you the Canvas because it's actually working with the preview of the document. Sometimes it tells you, well, you know, I cannot work with images or something like that. Just ask it to do it again. And if it doesn't want to, just say, generate an image of a science lab. Now, when it comes to generating images, keep in mind, you do have a lot of options and you can actually use this both in the Gemini app directly, but especially if you work with Google Slides, that's where generating images is even easier because that is built in directly into the Google Slides. So this will also give me the option to show you a second use for the Canvas. So here it does also generate a whole app for me that I could use to generate images, or I could use the Canvas feature just to create different previews of apps or websites or anything like that. So I'll show you also the image generation in Google Slides. When I show you the integration with Slides, that's also one area where we could actually use that. And we had a second question. I'm sorry, I cannot read your name, so I don't speak Arabic, but we had a second hand raised. Can you share the question with us? Okay, if not, maybe type it in the chat and we'll get back to it. So once again, just to show you, you can also ask Gemini directly to generate images. So generate an image of a camel in Paris, let's say. So you could actually use it with direct prompts and you would ask it to generate specific images. Keep in mind though, if you want to generate, for example, diagrams for science lessons, because I was a science teacher or anything like that, that will not work. So I chose this example of a camel in Paris just to show you that it can even generate images of things that are unlikely to be combined. So normally you wouldn't necessarily expect to see a camel in the middle of the city, especially in Paris, but that's why I wanted to show you that it can actually generate this kind of images based on the prompts we might be using. Keep in mind though, if you do use the canvas feature for generating document previews, then you might be limited to what you can include based on your original prompts. So this is where I can then choose to share this image, or I could export it to docs, or I could just save it and then use it in other places as well. So definitely image generation is also an option. Once again though, whatever involves, let's say, text or diagrams, don't rely on Gemini to generate proper diagrams. So to give an example, generate an image showing a diagram of the activation energy. So this is something that should be a simple graph, and it should be a simple diagram. And it can generate an image starting for that prompt. But as I said, do not expect accurate diagrams and accurate representations of text just yet. Here, it did give me, I don't know if you're really familiar with science structures and whatnot, but there's many mistakes in this diagram. So it did generate an image, but it has nothing to do with the actual diagram and how it should look like. So please be mindful of that if you do want to generate images with Gemini. So for just storytelling and general images, it's good. For this kind of purposes, be careful with what it generates. So usage limits, that's also a great question. So there are some usage limits that are not publicly available, known, so I don't know exactly where Google draws the line. For Gemini Education, for the upgraded licenses, you do have a limit of 500 prompts per month or 500 queries per month, which is a lot. So you will not get there. But for the free version, we don't officially know what the limit is. So there is a limit, but it's really difficult to reach it on a regular use. So I wouldn't worry about that that much. Great questions, by the way. Ayad, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, please apologize me. Please excuse me if not. I see you have your hand raised. You have a question?
Yeah, thank you.
1 second, I need to increase the volume.
Can you hear me?
Please.
Yeah, okay, voice. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Bogdan?
Yeah. Go all good.
You said my name correctly, actually. My question regarding this diagram, actually, I wanted to say to know, is it compatible with the Arabic language regarding for the diagrams, the rubrics, tables, fonts?
Yeah.
And Arabic language, is it compatible completely, or we need to make some editing after that?
No. So it works with Arabic. So that's one advantage of Gemini. It works really well with Arabic. So of course, because I don't speak Arabic, I cannot do the demo in Arabic, but you can use Arabic for this without any problem. And it works really well. The same thing applies though for images. So keep in mind that regardless of language, if you have diagrams, don't expect good outcomes in whatever language you would be using. So here, the same thing, this would not work better in Arabic. But the lesson plan, the rubrics, everything else that you've seen me showcase as examples, that would work well in Arabic as well. So for sure.
Okay, thank you.
And that's also good to know for maybe if you need to produce resources for your students, that's also something that's good to know, that you can actually produce the resources in multiple languages as well. Cool. So let me show you some other examples and some other tips and tricks for actually using Gemini. Besides just the Gemini app and the Canvas feature that I just showed you, there's another feature called Deep Research. So this is something that I can actually use for gathering information from many different sources and sort of summarizing it and actually changing or drawing the conclusions. So science team, I'm not sure what your name is. I can try this, but it's the same story, because what you're asking me here or what you're asking Gemini to do is to generate the diagram using words, so it will not be accurate. But if I would give it the instructions in Arabic, so here, as you see in the diagram, it doesn't work. But for the lesson plan, that is something that would work. And you cannot edit pictures, so the pictures are, great question. You can just generate them, you cannot edit them. So that's one limitation for the images you generate here. But once again, I cannot stress this enough. Don't rely on Gemini to generate diagrams for you, because they will not be accurate. It doesn't matter if it's English or Arabic or anything else. The diagrams will not be accurate. This is currently a limitation for all AI models out there. So keep that in mind. So for the deep research, let's have a look at how this would work. And this is a different way of actually using Gemini. And this is helping me get information from many different sources. So just to show you an example, I need a list of the most recent advanced